Welcome back, children, to our topic of transport of materials within the plants. So till now we know how our circulatory system transports things in our body. Okay, in animal body there are blood vessels which carry things everywhere, but in case of plants there are no blood vessels, but there are vascular bundles. VASCULAR, vascular bundles. Okay, they are like pipelines. Okay, within the tree or within the plant, pipe like structures are present. So vascular bundles means how many plants need? Two types of vascular bundles, one to carry water and minerals and the other to transport food material. Okay, see, we know plant has roots, stem and leaves, right? The function of roots is to absorb water from the soil and carry it to leaves, stem, everywhere to supply the water and minerals needed by the plant. Okay, and the function of leaves is to perform photosynthesis to prepare food material. So that food material should also be transported to everywhere needed, right? So vascular bundles called as xylem and phloem. Xylem, XYLEM, phloem, PHLOEM. So these two are the vascular bundles present inside plants to transport materials within the plants. So xylem is present in the center. It carries water. All the water that gets absorbed from the roots, it enters the xylem, and see that central part is xylem that moves the water upwards. It carries the water upwards to spread it everywhere, to leaves, stem, fruits, flowers, everywhere. And phloem is present in the periphery. So surrounding xylem there is phloem bundles, phloem vessels. Okay, the food which is prepared in the leaves, it gets transported through this vascular bundle called as phloem. Okay, now so in the roots of plants there are fine hair like structures called as root hairs. Okay, root hairs, ROOT, root hairs, HAIRS. These root hairs are very fine, very minute, so they can easily things can cross the barrier. Okay, what are root hairs? What are everything made up of? Everything in a plant, all the things in plant are made up of cells only, like how our bodies are made up of. So cells, they have plasma membrane, it's a barrier, right? So the plasma membrane of these root hairs can be easily crossed. Okay, now there is also a mechanism called as osmosis that happens here. Because of osmosis only, the water present in the soil where the plant is there, that water, it enters from the soil into the plant, okay, into the roots of a plant. So osmosis is responsible for the water to enter into the plant through the root hairs. Okay, through the root hairs present on the roots of the plant. Okay, now what is osmosis? It is movement of fluids across a concentration gradient. So it means that the concentration of the fluid present inside the cells of a plant is high compared to the concentration of fluid present in the soil. It means the water that is present in the soil is less concentrated. So what happens? Fluid moves from low concentration to high concentration. So the water, it moves from the soil into the cytoplasm, into the cells of the plant. So this is how water enters into the plant. Now after entering into the plant cells, this water creates something called as root pressure, root ROT, root pressure, PRESSURE. This root pressure, it pushes the water that has already entered the plant body, it pushes it in upward direction. Okay. So, now the water which is there in the surrounding soil has entered into the plant cell through the root hairs. From those hairs it enters into a vascular bundle called as xylem, which is present in the center of the plant. Okay. So, this xylem, there is some root pressure created which moves the water upwards. Now, this water also carries the minerals required by the plant. Minerals, they are also obtained from the surrounding soil itself. So, in which form are the minerals absorbed? In ionic form. If you take sodium chloride salt, NaCl, so it is absorbed as Na plus and Cl minus. Ionic form means the salts or minerals, they are available as electrically charged materials. Okay, ionic form. Now, so plants absorb these minerals and these minerals even enter into the fruits. So, when we consume fruits, we get all the macro and micronutrients, right. So, minerals like iron, many things, selenium, all these minerals we can get from plant food. So, this is how minerals enter into the plant structure. Now there is another process happening inside plants called as transpiration. So, see here transpiration, Transpiration. Transpiration is similar to sweating. Like when we sweat, there is this water droplets on our body. In the same way, on the plant surface also, if you observe on the leaves, on the stem, you can observe, you can see water droplets. That happens because of transpiration. Means what? The excess water in the body of the plant, it comes out and it gets evaporated into the surrounding air. So, through which openings is this water coming out? There are openings called as stomata. Stomata, S-T-O-M-A-T-A, stomata, and also lenticels, L-E-N-T-I-C-E-L-S. So, stomata are present on the leaves, whereas on the stems lenticels are present through which the water comes out. I have told you water is absorbed in the roots and it moves upwards through this vascular bundle called as xylem. So, this is a continuous process. In this process, when the water reaches stomata and lenticels, the excess water, it keeps on coming out. Okay, the water, the same thing which is being absorbed, when it reaches to these pores, it gets evaporated into the surrounding atmosphere, surrounding air. It means that transpiration also exerting a pulling pressure, a pulling force. It means it is pulling the water upwards. It is encouraging the water which is present at the ground level in the roots to continuously come up. So, there is always a continuous column of water maintained in the vascular bundle called as xylem. This root pressure is pushing up the water and this transpiration is pulling water upwards. So, if we take huge trees like mango, oak, these trees per day they can transpire nearly up to 700 to 900 liters of water. So much of water is lost through transpiration, it is evaporated into the air. So, that is why they say forests have more rainfall. Why? Because in forests there are many huge trees. So, whatever water they absorb, they transpire it. So, lot of water gets transpirated. So, transpiration rate is more in forests. So, what happens? All the water that is coming out due to transpiration is entering air, and definitely and surely the air in the forest area will be saturated with water. So when any wind blows in that direction, that saturated air, it drops all the water that it has collected. It drops the water down in the form of rain. That is why rainfall is observed more frequently in forests, forest areas. So forest areas support good amount of vegetation, okay, rich vegetation. So that is even healthy for our environment, isn't it? If there is good amount of rainfall at the right season, then it is good for our fields, our environment, okay. So naturally our fields and everything gets watered. We don't need to use our power supply or any other means. So natural phenomenon which happens at the right time in the right frequency is always healthy for the environment and human beings. Okay, so here two important points are that in this topic, this transpiration and root pressure, they play an important role, osmosis also, to transport materials within the plants, and the structures for to transport are xylem and phloem, vascular bundles seen only in the plant's body, okay. So this is about what happens in the plant. In animals there are blood vessels called arteries and veins. In plants, xylem and phloem. So in detail about this topic we can learn in higher classes, okay. This is the basic brief information about transport of materials within the plants. Thank you.